morning everybody, and let us continue our discussion on the different component of the machine tool. In the last class we have discussed about the encoder, and we have found that there are different type of encoders, but we have seen that if you want to move or if you want to measure a linear motion, it is better to go with a linear encoder as compared to the rotary encoder, because linear encoder directly measures the exit position, while rotary encoder it actually converts your calculation based on the pitch of the lead screw. So, if there are some thermal effect, that is expansion of the shaft or backlash or the wear, then it will not account this type of error, and that error will be actually reflected onto the machine component. You are actually not cutting as per the desired value, but you are getting some dimensional problem. So, we have seen the linear encoders are good for the linear motion measurement, and rotary encoder we can measure the rotational motion. So, now this lecture onwards we are talking about the spindle, because we have seen that we have to get the high velocity, and we should know that what is the RPM limit, what are the run out of the system, and what are the different spindle options available, so that we can mount or we can use those spindle for the micro machining application. So, let us continue our discussion on the spindle, right. So, in micro machining, spindle is very important. High revolution speed is required due to the small size of the diameter, that we have seen that we have to maintain the cutting speed, correct. So, for maintaining the cutting speed is very important. So, this is for maintaining reasonable cutting speed, so that you can get the reasonable amount of material removal rate. Because if you do not work with the high speed, then what is going to happen is you have to take very long time, and you have to use very low feed rate, because moving with a high feed rate you have to go with the high revolution speed. So, that is the reason that we need a very high speed, right. So, what are the major performance features available or required for spindle is, first thing is the desired spindle power. What is the power of the spindle, because that will decide that how much depth of cut you can get, how much force it will actually sustain during the machining. Peak power and the continuous. So, that is that continuous, when you are machining with a 40,000 RPM or something, how long you can continue with this thing, because there are limit on that also. So, there is a peak one is suppose it is a 40,000, then it is a peak only, but you cannot continue for a longer period of time for a 40,000 RPM. Continue with just, then you can continue with that. So, that is the difference. First thing, the maximum speed spindle load, axial and the radial. So, when you do machining, when you are doing a drilling machine, drilling operation, then what will happen, mostly you are actually encounter axial loading only. But when you are doing a machining with a milling machine or the slot cutting or something, at that time you will encounter axial as well as radial load also. Maximum spindle size, then speed allowed. So, how much is the speed allowed, because everything depends on the what are the things available with the load and the power setting and other things. Then tooling type, that which type of tooling it is possible to fit with this particular spindle, because bigger the spindle size, then you can put the very bigger size of cutting tool, but our things are different here. Then again it will decide the capacity of automatic tool changer, that what is the capacity of automatic tool changer and the size of those things. So, these are the different performance features which we have to consider before you finalize the spindle for a particular machine. Belt driven or integrated motor spindle. So, there are two different type. You consider this thing, this is an integrated motor spindle, because here motor is directly inside it, and then you are extracting the motion, rotational motion directly from that. So, it is integrated motor part. If you see this thing, motor is separated, but it is actually belt driven. Your tool is attached with this particular part. There are bearings available for making this thing straight, and housing is also there. And this motor rotates, and because of this belt drive, you are getting the motion from the belt drive on, and then you are getting extracting that motion to the cutting tool. So, these are the two different types. Both are used for the high speed, but there are some limitation with the belt driven. So, mostly for the tens of thousand or 40,000, 50,000 RPM, mostly people go with the integrated motor spindle. So, many of these criteria are contradictory to one with each other, because now if you want to give a very high load and all these things, then what you have to do, you have to actually go with the you have to sacrifice the size of the cutting tool, because both the things cannot be matched with either. Maximum spindle stiffness is also important here, probably this is the stiffness. So, if you want a very high stiffness, then you have to sacrifice with the size of the tooling size, and you cannot use a very big tool for that particular application. So, those are many different criteria available. So, you have to finalize which you have to reach to a one particular optimum level, so that you can get the maximum required features without much sacrifice of the other things. What are the design constraint here? The machine tool also will present a design constraint to the spindle, because you know that each and every machine spindle cannot be fitted to each and every machine tool, because machine tool has its design constraint. So, first thing is the amount of available space in the head, because when you design a machine tool, at that time suppose you are adding one spindle here, but later on you found that that spindle RPM is not enough. So, you want to replace the spindle. So, now what is the problem, that whatever space available you have to play within that area only. So, under spindle, if the size is different and the other fitting arrangements are not available, then it is not fitting in that particular machine tool. Cost consideration is another thing, because many times the changing the spindle or the adding one side spindle, that is many times people are also using auxiliary spindle beside the original spindle of the machine tool. So, cost consideration also there, whether you want to replace the spindle or you want to add additional spindle there. Complexity and market demand will affect the ultimate spindle design. Complexity, that means when you are mounting a additional spindle, what are the things you have to change in the machine tool, that whether it is favorable or not. Market demand, that means when you are adding one additional spindle, what is the purpose of that thing, that is how much is the job work you are getting, what is the cost to the demand ratio. That means, if the demand is very high, it is better to spend some money to get this thing done very easily. So, those are the complexity and market demand kind of thing. A very sophisticated and capable spindle design will not be acceptable on a low cost machine tool. That is very important, because suppose you have spindle rotating at a 50,000 RPM, but your machine tool does not have that much stiffness, right, because when you are rotating, you also demand something from the machine tool, that we have seen in the different component, that your base should be from the polymer granite, and then you have a different type of motion for that. Air bearing is also available. If it is a linear motion, then it is a linear drives available. If those sophisticated components are available in the machine tool, then it is better that you spend some money into the sophisticated and capable spindle design. But suppose your machine is a routinely used CNC machine, and you want to go with a very high air bearing kind of thing and extremely high lakhs of RPM, then your machine tool actually not suitable for those type of spindle. So, first you have to find out that whether your machine is capable in terms of stiffness, damping of vibration, then what are the axis orthogonality, that means x, y, z axis should be exactly perpendicular to each other, that we have seen in the geometric error and everything. So, machine also demands something where the spindle has also some application. So, better first see the what is the level of the accuracy of the machine tool, and then you decide the what is the which type of sophisticated spindle you can use for the machine tool, right. An advanced machine tool design can justify the higher cost of a more capable and complex spindle package. So, here what we are doing, that you first you have to find that what is the machine tool design, that if stiffness, vibration, damping capacity and the axis orthogonality, everything is very fine tuned, then you can justify that whatever part you are machining from there, it will have a high quality part. Because here, if in this particular case, if you are adding your machine tool, that you are putting your sophisticated spindle in the low cost machine tool, you are cutting one component here, and then finally you found that the size dimensions are not exactly as per the required drawing, then there is a no way of doing any satisfactory work out of it. Then that means you have to find a advanced machine tool also, and then only you can find the suitable spindle design for that. So, what are the major component of these things? So, this is one of the diagram, means very generic diagram of the spindle of the motor. So, first is the spindle tile, it is a belt driven or the integrated motor type of thing. So, here it is a many different type of things are given here. So, it is encoder because we have seen that rotary encoders are used for measurement of those things, rotational speed. Tool release unit. So, this is the tool, our tool is attached at this particular location. So, interface is HSK, SK or BT or ISO kind of thing, and when you are pushing this part, this particular jaw will be open little bit and then you can remove the part, and once you are retracting it, then again jaw will be clamp or it will grip that particular tool. So, you can get those things done very easily. Then other than that, you have a bearing, set of bearings which are used to rotate this thing and make it into the center line here. Then you have to apply some cooling mechanism here, either it is air cooled or the water cooled, because here also you will get a heating of those things which is very completely enveloped in between these two. So, those things are very important to design this part, and you have to also find some sealing here, because you are working with a coolant and chip and many dust particles, it should not actually enter inside it. So, you have to provide some type of sealing so that nothing, no foreign element will enter into the spindle system. So, spindle bearings are there are type, quantity, mounting, lubrication method. So, those things are making different changes of the parts. So, there are different bearings, roller bearing available, ball bearing available, air bearing is also there. Then how many bearings you are putting here? If you are putting a less bearing, then stiffness is less. If you are putting more bearing, stiffness is high, but cost is also issue, right. Lubrication is important, how you are lubricating it. It is external lubrication or it is a inline, that means it is automatic lubrication or something, what kind of things are there. So, that will make the difference. Motor, obviously belt type, motor, spindle type of the capacity, size is also important. Spindle shaft including tool retention drawbar and the tooling system used. So, many times what happens that you put here some type of manual removal and the attachment of the cutting tool, but this drawbar mechanism will help you to automated, or you can actually plunge this toolbar and you can get this thing done very easily. So, that is the manual with respect to automatic toolbar or the tool attachment system. Housing is also important, which type of housing you are using for this, all the thing here. So, that is the size, mounting style, capacity, what is the total size of this thing. So, these are the different components which are different for different type of spindle, because if you are looking with a high speed spindle, then you have to go with the this particular thing, that integrated motor spindle. Then you have to also provide the lubrication of the bearing and everything, because when it is rotating at high speed, then lubrication is very important. Then other than that thing, that you have to provide a very uniform or the very precise tool holding mechanism. So, that is mostly people go with HSK because it has a dual contact, that we will discuss later, but now other than that there are many issues with that. So, these are the major component of a spindle. So, which one is good? So, depending on the criteria you have to select there, because we have lot of option available in terms of rating, in terms of type. So, what are the criteria? So, requirement of the machine tool including maximum speed, power and stiffness required, right, because once you have to finalize that machine tool is capable to handle a sophisticated spindle, then everything depends on which spindle you have to use. So, first thing is that include the what is the maximum speed you require, right. If the speed is around 20,000 or something, 10,000, 20,000, you can go with the belt driven. If it is very high, it is better to go with the integrated motor type. Power is also very important, because power will tell you that how much is the how much aggressive machining you can do there, and stiffness is obviously there, because it should not deflect under any type of load, whatever machining load or the static load. Cost is an important factor, because whatever sophistication you are adding here, everything is a cost. Higher you go with the sophisticated or very high power thing, your cost will increase exponentially, right. Belt driven spindles generally cheaper than the integrated spindle, that is obviously that thing are there. Now, let us continue discussion about the belt driven spindles, but then we will go with the integrated motor kind of thing. So, what is this thing? That spindle shaft incorporates the tooling system, including tool taper, drawbar mechanism and the tool release system. So, now this is the one of the cross sectional view of a typical belt driven spindle. Now, if you see here, so this is the upper pulley and this is the, so your belt will be here at this location, you will get the belt here. Okay. So, this is the upper bearing, this is the lower bearing at this location. this is total thing is housing, this is the drawbar. So, now this is the tool holder part thing. So, what is happening that when you are pushing this thing down by means of air, so at that time this particular thing will be actually expanding, because now this you if you see this particular toolbar, it has a different type of jaws, and when it is moving down then it will expand. So, you can remove this toolbar down, and when you actually retract this particular thing, then you have to mount one tool here and then let it go inside it. So, once it will go inside, then again it will grip that particular tool. So, that is called the drawbar. Housing is there, then the spindle shaft, this is the whole shaft, whatever is available, this will rotate along with this because of this belt drive, and this is called spindle cartridge. Whole thing there, because you have to keep everything secured from outer elements. So, these are the different components of the belt drive spindle. Yeah, so, this is the actual photograph of that part, because your motor is located here, it is attached with a pulley, then this belt is there, there is a small pulley, and your whole system, that means this whole part is there, this is that part, and then the spindle and bearings, everything is here beneath this particular surface. Requirements of the machine tool, including machine maximum speed, power, stiffness required. So, these are the different parameters which you have to look into before selecting the belt drive spindle, because in within the belt drive and spindle also there are many, because you are changing the power rating also, you have to also look into that how many bearings are there, what is the stiffness of that. Let it be you are rotating at a 20,000 rpm or 10,000 rpm, but still everything matters here, because still you need a stiffness. It does not mean that you are rotating at a low rpm, you do not require stiffness, but stiffness is obviously required. So, these are the different parameters which you have to think before selecting the particular belt driven spindle, right. So, torque is transmitted to the spindle shaft via a cogged over the V belt, because we have to use some belt here, and that should not slip, otherwise if there is a slipping you will not be able to transmit the exact rotation from motor spindle to the tool spindle, right. So, power, torque and speed of the spindle depend upon the characteristic of the driving motor, belt ratio used between the motor and the spindle. Now, you can see here in this location here that this pulley is big and this pulley is small, correct. So, now when you are telling your tool that tool rotation, you are rotating at a 5,000 rpm, correct. So, actually you need a 5,000 rpm here at this location, right. So, your tool is located here. So, this thing is required here at this location, correct. So, when you are rotating this one as a 5,000 rpm, this is a small pulley. So, your motor rpm will be different, because it is using a bigger pulley here. So, consider this thing is a driver and this thing is a driven. If you are rotating this one as a 5,000, this will rotate at a lower rpm. So, when you are telling that tool rotation is a 5,000, you are giving command to this thing, but actually this command goes to the motor, correct. So, motor may rotate at a 4,000 rpm or something, then only you will get 5,000 rpm here, right. So, this belt ratio is very important here. What you are telling to the machine tool and what machine tool is sending to this motor, that is directly depend on what is the ratio of this belt, right. And then between the spindle and the spindle. So, this is the one thing, this is the other thing, that whatever is coming out of it. And so, what are the advantages? Because cost is reasonable, that is obvious, because spindle itself has is comprised of a very few basic parts. Wide variety of spindle characteristics are available, because that is spindle power, torque, speed are dependent on the driving motor to a large degree. So, you have a large variety of the driving motor. So, that is not an issue. Final specification can be modified for a particular application by using a different motor or the belt ratio. So, that is very big advantage here, because now if you see you are using a one particular tool, that is you are using a 5 millimeter tool or something, and you want to go with a 1 millimeter tool. So, you have to obviously increase the speed, right. So, what is going to happen now, if that particular motor which you have attached this particular machine, it does not have that much speed. Suppose you want to rotate at 20,000 rpm, but your rating is right now is a 10,000 only. So, here you have freedom that you change this particular motor only, correct, or you change the belt ratio, right. So, without changing anything, if you just change the belt ratio, you can get that speed. But suppose your motor, that is not provision, that means you are not able to change the belt ratio, that you are not able to change the size of the pulley is there, then there is another option that you change the motor, because ultimately nothing is going to change near the spindle and the tooling mechanism, because that is independent. What you need here, you need a belt around that particular mechanism, and then motor will take care of rest of the thing. So, that is very big advantage, that without spending more money, you are actually getting a wide range of the characteristics of the spindle, right. In some cases, gears are also used to provide multiple speed ranges in addition to the fixed belt ratio, but mostly people do not go with the gears, because when you are talking about tens of thousands of RPM, mostly it is better to avoid the gears, because gear has a very large contact area, and the noise and the other things are, alignment is also a problem in that case. But when you are talking about a low RPM speed, at that time you can actually go with the multiple range of the gear to increase the speed range, or you can regulate the speed to a lower level or the higher level. So, these are the advantages of using the belt spindle. High power and the torque possibility, because spindle motor is mounted externally from the actual spindle shaft. So, it is often possible to use a very large motor, right. So, you do not have problem with the high power and the torque possibility, because changing motor is not a problem. You are not going to change the spindle or the tooling mechanism which is integrated to the machine tool. A large motor of a large diameter, very high torque and high power can be used in this particular case. This is much more difficult in integral motor spindle design, as available space is very limited, because when you design your machine tool with a condition that you are going to use the integral motor spindle design, at that time you do not create more of space of that, and everything is integrated in that. So, if you want to change the power and the torque, then you have to do that, you do not have flexibility of doing that thing. So, either you make a specific or the customized spindle design, so that everything is matching with the dimension of or the available space, or you have to add one auxiliary spindle just beside the main spindle, so that you can get the motion or the required things to be done with the requirement. What are the disadvantages? It is limited by the speed, because it is a mechanical transmission, belt and the pulley type of thing. So, if you increase the speed beyond a certain limit, what is going to happen? There is a slippage between the belt and the pulley, and you are not able to transmit the full power of the spindle from one location to another location. Poly V belt type, if you are using this belt type, high speed on the pulley tend to stretch and disengage the belt. So, that is the big problem with the V belt type of thing, reducing their contact and ability to transmit the torque. So, if that is going to happen, then your contact, main thing is the torque transmission. Whatever you are actually getting from the main motor, it should be transmitted to the tooling arrangement, but that is not happening in this particular case if you go with the very high speed. If you use cogged belt, in this case, eliminate the slipping problem. So, slipping problem will not be there, but you may get an unacceptable level of the vibration. So, in this case, so both the cases are very problematic if you go with a maximum speed. So, your speed is limited because of this type of problems. Gears, obviously you will not get the maximum speed, because it is vibration, heating, many problems are there. So, maximum speed is limited by these disadvantages. What are the furthermore? So, belt utilize bearing load capacity, because it required tensioning of the belt will exert a constant radial force on the rear spindle shaft bearing set. Now, what does it mean? That because now if you see that earlier design we had a shaft, correct. So, we had a bearing here and we had a bearing here also, right, and then we had a, suppose this is the belt, and this is the motor. Right. So, motor is providing. So, now first thing that we have to make sure there is no loosening of this particular belt. So, for doing that thing, that we have to actually stretch this belt correctly, right. So, this is the stretching of this thing, it is continuously loading. So, when it is in loading, what is going to happen? The radial load onto the real spindle shaft bearing. So, this is the real spindle shaft bearing. So, when you are tightening in this direction, what is going to happen? These particular bearings will get the radial loading of this particular part. So, when you are getting a required tensioning, that means you have to make sure that there is no any type of loosening between this time. So, every time you have to manage this, means you are putting this particular motor in this direction. So, you are tightening the belt. So, when you are doing this particular bearing will exert a radial constant radial force. So, if you continue with this thing, then what is going to happen? The damage of this bearing is likely to happen in the near future. So, that is the problem of the belt driven spindle. Right. Increase of power and speed, it will increase the applied tension and consequent loop forces. So, when it is in this radial forces, if you continue with a higher power and higher speed, it will further increase this tension, because this tensioning is obviously you have to maintain, because if you want to go with higher power and speed, you have to further increase the tension. If you increase the tension, what is going to happen? That your radial force will further increase in this case. So, using up much of the available radial loading capacity of the bearing, because bearings are actually designed with a radial force and the thrust force. So, if you are maintaining this particular loading capacity, then there are no problem, but if you are tightening continuously to extract more power and speed, what is going to happen? Then most of the radial load carrying capacity, it will be completely consumed in this particular tensioning only. Then further, if you continue motion, then what is going to happen? There is likely to become a failure in the bearing, or it will not behave as a routine object. So, use of larger or the additional bearing will not be feasible, because if you want to avoid this thing, either you change this bearing or you add additional bearings there, but you know that within that system you do not have that much space for doing changes. So, this is the disadvantages, one of the disadvantages of the belt driven spindle. Now, coming to the integral spindle, let me do this thing, that this thing we will discuss in the next lecture, because till now whatever we have discussed, that is related to belt driven. So, we understood from this that it is very routinely used things when you are talking about the belt driven spindle. You will find in most of the machine, even CNC machines are also used by the belt driven spindle. We have some machines which has a belt driven spindle, but it has a speed limitation that you maximum you can go with the 7,000 or 8,000 only, and as well as there are alignment problems and many things are there. So, with a high speed, it is better to go with the integrated motor spindle. So, this thing we will discuss in the next class. Thank you very much.